Hi, and welcome to That's So Nova. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you for coming back. Today's tutorial, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I know it's summertime and everybody is heading to, the beach or vacation, whatever you have. And a lot of times I get a lot of custom bag, like tote bags, or a lot of custom travel bags. So recently I had some friends that are going to the beach and they wanted clear pouches so that their kids can play with their toys, like their little Legos, and then put it back, and it'll be easy to dispense with. So I thought, why not share with you this really quick, fast tutorial that you can do at home to create a really cute pouch that people probably haven't seen before. So I'm using jelly vinyl. You can use whatever you have on hand. You can use jelly, you can use regular vinyl, you can do clear vinyl, whatever you have. It has nice structure, and that's easy to use. So you need 2 pieces of this. Now, the great thing about this is customizable. The size I'm doing is 9 inches long by 7, I want to say 7 inches. Yes, 7 inches. Yeah, 7 inches tall. So from here, we're going to need your 2 pieces of vinyl, jelly, whatever you have. And then my zipper. Because this is 9 inches long, I just deducted an inch from my zipper. So my zipper is 1 inch. And then something to mark out your boxes at. And I'm going to be doing a box at 1.5. You can do it at 1, 2 inches, whatever is easier for you. So I have this little cute grid, but you can use any ruler, a pair of scissors, a zipper pull. And from our scraps, we will be making our strap ends. Our zipper ends. I can't talk today. So as you can see on this one, I already have the squares cut out. And from the squares, I'll be using this on my zipper pull to become its ends. So what I did is I took my 9 by 7 jelly. It likes to roll, so bear with me. And then I drew my boxes at 1.5 inches. So now I'm just going to cut them out, and I use just a regular pen, and I'm cutting right on the line. If you're going to use a pen and not a tandy leather pen or a heat erasable pen or whatever, just try to make it around the same color, so that way if you don't accidentally cut everything, it doesn't look too awkward. No one should be in the inseams, but just for the sake of this video, I did it in this pink so you can see. But I will normally just draw it out with a tandy leather pen or a chalk pen. All right. So now we have our 2 pieces. Now we're going to construct the zipper. If you don't have a source where you can melt to make sure that the fraying doesn't happen, you can always use fray check to help it stop fraying. We're going to take this size 5 zipper pull, and we're going to feed it through. What I like to do is I like to feed both sides, and I look inside of the zipper pull. There is a middle bar. I try to make sure that both sides are evenly distributed in the same size, and then I just push down and it kind of just clicks in. So I just really look at that middle bar, and from there I'm able to determine. From here, I'm going to take these 1.5 inch pulls, and then I'm going to cut them in half. You could do this at your counter so you can have a nice clean cut. And now they're roughly like 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to fold them over on itself. And you can use double-sided tape, clips, glue, whatever is easier for you. And I'm going to take this to the machine and just sew across you can use whatever stitch length that you want. My machine right now, it's at a 4.5, but it is an industrial. If I was using my 5550, I'll probably do a size 3. I'm going to do the same thing. Take this and just fold it in half on each other, making both sides of the binding even, and just take it over to your machine and sew. Now you're like, hey, you didn't say backstitch, and you're absolutely correct. I didn't, because we're going to cut these off and make them flush to the zipper. All right, so we have our zipper. So I'm going to find my center. I'm just going to grab a clip and I'm going to grab some chalk. And I'm going to draw, or try to draw with the chalk on the chalk line to show where my centers are. I find finding my centers are just super important if I want to have a nice, even, cohesive look. I'm going to do the same thing here. You can do a chalk, or you can do like a small 1/8 of an inch snip. It's really your call. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. All right. So I'm going to take this zipper pull and I'm going to match that line that I drew with the line that's on the bag. And I'm going to make a couple of clips, or whatever's easier for you. I see some people use 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, or I can see people not even using the tools. And I'm going to stitch at 1/4 of an inch, and I will backstitch at the beginning and the end. When you get to the zipper pull, just go down to the needle down position and zip past it. If you try to maneuver around it, it can make a weird section where the whole line is 1/4 of an inch, but then there's a 1/8 of an inch difference to where the zipper pull was. My thread decided to get caught, but it's okay. We got this. All right. So from here, I'm going to trim really well, making sure that there's no tails whatsoever. And I'm going to finger press the seam to go down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch from the beginning of the tab to the end of the tab. Do not top stitch all the way to the end, or it can leave a weird turning out method when you turn the bags right side out. So right at the zipper tab, I'm going to start my stitching, and I should have like held my thread. Okay, so I'm going to start my stitching as soon as I rethread this again. Nobody's perfect. It happens. Now, if you wanted to, you can put a double-sided tape on the side down to keep it in place, but it should fold pretty nicely. Backstitch 1 or 2 stitches, whatever's easier for you. And only to the tab. And we're going to get all these threads. Problem with sometimes having long tails is they get caught in the other stitching. But it's okay. I have this little hook thing. It's going to catch all of them. I'm using this variant thread that I got from Wizardly Stitchery, and it's one of my favorite. It's like a light pastel color, and it's just so pretty. So right now it should look like this. We have a nice top stitching, no top stitching in the corners over there or over here, and we top stitched it down. So we have that. We're going to do the same on this. Matching line by line, putting some clips there just to keep everything in place. So we're going to now sew from using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. move that zipper pull, just zip it out of the way so that way your seam that you're sewing is perfectly okay and it's not like a little wonky. If it is, nobody will notice. It's just a tip that I wanted to give you. Because I think when I started first really sewing zippers in, I would try to just sew around it, and I never understood why it looked the way it did, and now I do, and I'm like, oh gosh, just take your time. We're going to top stitch just at 1/8 of an inch from tab to tab. I love this tote because, I mean, this pouch, because it doesn't take a lot of material. 2, it looks really cool, especially in jelly. And 3, it's the perfect gift as well as the perfect make for yourself and your loved ones. Okay, then we are going to have these right sides touching, so the wrong side we should see out, and just clip in place. We're going to make sure each one of the folds are matching each other. That's important. And then we're just lining everything up. I'm going to line everything up, and let's see. We're going to sew 1/4 of an inch down. Backstitch really well at the beginning and end of each seam. And then we're going to go, I'm just going to drag my threads and bring it across the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side seam. And just make sure everything lines up and everything will be easy peasy. All right, and we backstitch well at the beginning and end. Let's do this. I'm going to trim threads. And I sew similar when I'm doing production line sewing for conventions, just to help, you know, get everything together. I'm going to snip a little triangle, not into the seam, but just away. So this is a little bit of ways. Let me do it on this side so you can see, reducing the bulk at an angle, not touching inside the stitches or outside of the seam allowance, just to give it a nice little finish. I'm going to open up the bag, stick my hands in here, and then I'm going to kind of spread the bag out so I can get these box corners nice and easy. I'm going to spread the seam allowance on the bottom and the top out like a butterfly, so it can be evenly distributed. I'm going to take this over to my machine, and we're going to stitch down out using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And make sure everything stays aligned. I like to backstitch over the seam. I have no idea why. All right, so while we're here, so that you don't have a lot of tension in this bag, we're going to stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the stitches that we just made. And this will help not have those awkward tension threads that are pulled on the side where you see the threads. It helps with that when you have a second row of stitching. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to stick our hand inside the bag. And I know it's kind of hard to work sometimes with jelly because it likes to stick to each other itself, and it's just, it's kind of a thick material. This is why I also like this pattern, because it's super domestic friendly and industrial machine friendly. Quick, fast project you can do, and it's super cute. And then you can make it customizable with any size bag you want. You can make it huge, like a big one that can have like beach toys in it, or all your sunscreen and stuff. Don't forget to wear sunscreen. It's important. So we're going to stitch out the 1/4 of an inch, And then we're going to do a second row of stitching right underneath it. And don't forget to cut your threads while you're there. It just makes it easier for you. And like I said, I think a big one of these would be really cool. It could be your project bag. So we're going to turn this right sides out. And depending on your measurements, each time the shape is going to vary. If you go for a wider base or a thinner base, it's going to vary. Just take your time. You gotta love the sound effects. It sounds like creepy stairs that you hear in scary movies, and you're like, is there something in the basement? And chances are there is. There is. See, I love when it's all starting to line up perfect. And we're going to do this on this side. And I'm just using my my finger pad, and I'm just trying to make sure everything pokes out nice. Then I'm going to concentrate on this. With this, I do recommend like a point turner or something that could help you really pop these corners out. But see how we didn't sew right there, so this doesn't buckle in? If that's the trick. Don't sew over that and you'll be fine. But look at how cute this is. This is a cute little bag and it's ready to go. I love this shape. It's very fun. You can mix and kind of match your own measurements to see what kind of bag you did. Again, this was a 9-inch long by 7-inch tall, but you can change it up. And it gave, because I did a 1.5-inch bottom instead of a 1, it gave it a cool, more like, oh, I could open this up and stick all my stuff in there. Like clips. This could be a good clip bag, or for snacks. Just throwing that out there. Snacks are good too. But this is a cool makeup bag. This would be a really good bag for paint, a lot of different stuff. But again, you can make it whatever size you want and it will turn out very well. So let me go over the stuff that you need again. You're going to need to have some scissors. You're going to need a marking tool of your choice, something to measure. You can use any kind of ruler. You're going to use, I use a size 5 zip with a 8-inch long. So whatever you make the bag, so let's say you want to make it 12 inches long by 7 inches tall, you will need to make your zipper at 11 inches. We used 1/4 of an inch seam allowance throughout the bag. You can use fire to melt your threads and your zipper tape, or you can use fray check for your zipper tape as well, in case you're like, hey, Shnova, I'm not down with the fire. I totally get it. You can make this even more snazzy using a label, or in the middle, like, look at my marvelous creation, or happy to see you. These can make really great gifts for people as well as yourself, or selling them. So if you have any questions in reference to this, please let me know. I really like the bottom of it. This is a really nice cute tote and I love this vinyl. If you have any questions in reference to anything that I discussed here today, or you'd like to know where I purchased something at, please leave a comment down below, and I'm really responsive and I'll try to get back to you. Until the next time I see you, you can like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And if you're like, oh, Shnova, you saved my life. I've been wanting to make a pouch like this all my life. You could buy me a Ko-fi if you want. The information will be down in the comment and as well as the description box. Until the next time I see you, have a good day. Stay safe. Bye.